Hello everybody and welcome. This is the 2024 Honda XL750 Transalp. If you aren't familiar, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sport touring motorcycle. We have the privilege of presenting this motorcycle on behalf of our client. Just a quick thing about our client. He is a middle-aged gentleman. He's a VA doctor. You know, if that says anything about his intelligence, I'll leave that up to your determination, but you can tell on some of the features of this bike on how intelligent of a rider this guy was and a caretaker for this beautiful motorcycle. Of course, it's a 2024. This specific bike has 1,700 miles on the digital odometer, and the condition of the bike reflects that. So basically what we're going to go into is show you guys the cosmetic condition on behalf of everyone who's viewing this Bring a Trailer auction. We're going to look at all the little scratches and dings, not there are many on this motorcycle, show you all the features. The current owner has thrown some tasteful modifications, all from the Honda catalog, everything to give a lot of rider ergonomic features, you know, safety features, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go through all of that. We are Auto Gallery. We do a consignment service. We're here in the frigid northwest corner of Connecticut on a decently warm day, but of course this is a Transalp, so we're going to be alpine men and show you guys this motorcycle. So without further ado, we're going to go straight into the cosmetic condition, starting up front, and we'll go kind of in a counterclockwise fashion. So up front on this motorcycle, we have a Puig aftermarket racing screen. So that's the front windscreen here, which seems to be of zero flaws. All of the original hardware here, no cracking from over torquing, no rock trips, looking good all the way up front. Coming to the headlights, no rock trips, entirely crystal clear, and you're going to see there's very, very little flaws on this motorcycle. We have these resin bike strips here. He's done a little bit of personalization on this motorcycle, some of them being reflectors, some of them being just, you know, overall badging to show more that this is a 750. And just funny thing about these motorcycles, you know, 750, typically bikes round up. This one actually rounded down. It's a 755cc parallel twin on this motorcycle, but it's labeled as a 750. So you can see here, kind of highlights, and it's meant for this bike, the Transalp logo there, clear, coming through, and this is removable if you choose to do so. But it's kind of this nice resin film, and it is in nice condition. And you have this red slot coming down, adding to the whole styling of this Honda motorcycle. Coming down below, we have Showa front forks, which are in great shape. They're not leaking whatsoever. Typically you see a lot of front abrasion on motorcycles. It's a very narrow profile, and things that get the worst of the hits are the forks, inverted forks, front mud guards, and, you know, mirrors and headlights. But this bike is overall in very nice condition. We have all of our proper wiring around here, all of our proper hardware, everything torqued to spec with those nice torque lines, and I'm sure Loctite underneath there. No weird zip ties or weird harness mounts. Everything looks very good. Coming down in the front, we have our mudguard, which looks in great condition. It's not cracked. All the mounting points look good. And then we can go into our front wheel, which I believe it's a 21-inch front wheel and then an 18 in the rear. So very sporty, you know, off-road styling. We'll start on the left side here of this wheel, where you have these twin rotors in the front with dual piston calipers on each side of the Nissan calipers, and we have these aftermarket Denali floodlights, if you will. These stay on all the time. These are very nice lights, and they give a lot of road visibility. I've had the privilege to ride this bike in the evening, and I had some great sightseeing in the depths of the night. So coming to the tires, we have 90 by 90 by 21. And these are Dunlop tires. They are the Trail Maxes. The tread is good. The grip feels great. We just took this bike out for some of the rolling shots. And you know, the roads aren't the best. They're a little bit salted, so pardon some road debris on the motorcycle. We will give it a nice clean after we finish the full riding video. You know, we like to keep care of these beautiful machines here when it is wintertime. But anyways, moving forwards, rotor's look in great condition. The stopping power is huge on this bike. You really have to be feathery with that front brake. The bike isn't so heavy. But everything checks out in this area. There's no leaking fluids. All the nipples are in the right place for the caliper. All the hardware is nice and shiny. Everything looks good. And there's no marks on this front wheel with these beautiful spokes all tied in and torqued all the way around, looking very good. And you got your valve stem cap on that side. Just check the other side real quick. Same thing. We have our rotor looking beautiful, and our caliper on that side No indication of anything that would alarm me. All of the hardware looking very good. You have your axle nut torqued to spec with that line coming down on that flush washer. And again, this Denali floodlight on the other side, very, very bright. Wiring looks good, and it's done nice and neat, and it looks, you know, OEM, if you will, because it's kind of out of that, you know, Honda catalog. No marks on the wheel on this side. And again, this tire, and let's look for a date code for you guys. Didn't see it on the other side, might be hiding. Okay, here we go. DOT, and these look like they're the 17th week of 24. So 2024, the year the bike was made. You wouldn't expect them to have older tires on them than the year the bike was made. And these are just, you know, around 2 years old, but they look great, and I would not recommend having to change them. Coming over on this side of the bike, this bike is fitted with super, super loud horns. I believe they're 500 megahertz horns, paired with the OEM ones as well. It sounds like a train. This kind of shows something about the rider that owned this bike. He was all about safety. You'll see the mirrors are upgraded, the taillights are upgraded for extra braking visibility, a lot of reflectors, and these insane horns. These people will hear you coming from miles away. You know, in the case that you do need to lay on the horn, there is no chance that they won't hear you. So he has them mounted here with these brackets that kind of come down, I believe, on that front radiator mount. The bike is liquid cooled, so you have a radiator running coolant through the engine. And then we have our exhaust pipe starting. It's a 2-in-1 exhaust system. The pipes look great. Of course, you have that coloration on there just from the heat soaking. And then you have your oil filter over on this side and your other horn looking great. Okay, it says 400 hertz right here labeled on them. This one's 500 and that one's 400. So you have 2 different intensities. Very cool. And it's wired professionally as well. It's done at a shop. So coming to this side of the bike, we're gonna start here and then we're gonna go up top. We have our Transalp logo embroidered there for everyone to see, and our Honda logo. There's no flaws on this fairing here on the side, and everything is looking very good. We have our reflectors here on the left, we'll talk about, and our turn signals, which look great as well. Zero flaw there. Coming up top, all of the body panels are seated properly. You know, the head turns without interaction with any of the panels. Everything is looking good, everything OEM. We have our clutch lever here, nice pull, and you can see our cable is nice and fastened. It is a mechanical cable going down to that cylinder. And then we talk about our handlebars here with our grips. You can see there's not much wear whatsoever on this grip. It's looking good, and the bar ends are not scratched, meaning the bike has never been dropped. So you know, there's no indication that this bike's been on the ground. Everything's looking very good. And these are, I believe, double take mirrors. Just a little bit of an abrasion there. Actually came off, just a bug. It's a little bit of bug residue. Actually, the mirror is in perfect condition, and they're very adjustable. All rider heights, you can kind of change them too. Looking good, and they unlock and lock here. You can see that'll move and kind of go to whatever position you would like. Personally, I love the look of these mirrors. You can see everywhere, great visibility. Over here on this side, we have our flashers and our high beam indication. We'll test those later, but I can't say that they do work. And then this is an interesting thing. He's colored the horn light, you know, just so you can have extra notice, not black, which one's the horn if you are in the emergency and you need to press it. There it is, but everything else is stock and OEM and looking good. All the markings on all the buttons looking good. Bars are looking great. And we have these handlebar risers set up for a taller rider, which the rider is about, I believe, 6'3". So this bike's set up for a 6'3" guy. If you don't want these fixed handlebar risers, it's a tongue twister on there, you can get the OEM ones and drop the handlebars. But personally, I love how this bike feels. Handlebars looking good. You have your triple tree up front with you got your keys here and all your ignition lock and everything with your digital screen. This is another modification he's done. It seems to be a carbon fiber, faux carbon fiber look-alike kind of extension coming over that. And the matte finish on this screen, which gives no reflection, so you can see it in all lightings. If the sun's really blaring, you see your digital screen there without a problem. You can see you still have the rubber on the key, and then these are for the side cases and the monkey box on the back. So very good. Moving down, you can see the rest of the hardware. Everything's looking good. The windscreen extensions, everything in perfect condition. No notes up front with your Honda badge. And then moving on to this side of the handlebars, we'll go ahead and talk about our front brake reservoir, which is a Nissan. You can check the fluid level over here, which it is topped off, and it's not leaking anywhere. There's no wetness over this whole reservoir. Handlebars looking good, bar ends looking good. You have your electric starter on this side. It is a 2-position, and all of the hardware is looking great there, as well as our mirror. Not a single problem in sight. While we're over on this side, we'll talk about the right side fairing. Again, with this additional reflector that's kind of been stuck on there, it almost seems like 3M under there. Circling back to the safety kept in mind of this guy, we do have one little flaw here. Seems to be a little abrasion. Not sure if that would come off. Does seem to come off, maybe with some buffing. But other than that, this whole fairing is beautiful. Honda logo sticker and Transalp coming across the side. And then you have your coolant lines coming here. We'll just talk about this parallel twin. So it's a horizontally opposed, not opposed. That's a beamer term. Horizontal twins. You got cylinders going like that, kind of coming towards the forwards of the bike, and your crankcase. I believe this is a monocam bike. Built by Honda with that reliability. Love it. Everything looks good. I mean, there's really nothing to talk about. It's a stock motor here. Again, you have your horns. That's the only thing that are not stock over here, but coming all the way through, everything looks good. Your 2-into-1 exhaust pipe with that beautiful coloring in that guard there, coming all the way back to that one exit on the right side of the motorcycle. These are alt-rider pegs. They give a wider foot placement for your foot. Feels great. You can stand on the bike, if your legs are getting a little sore on a long ride, which this bike is perfect for. You can stand up, and they are foldable. Very good pegs, super robust, and they have these nice grips on there. Remember the owner saying that the previous stock ones were a little bit too small and your foot would slip off, but these absolutely not. And your front brake looking all good. Everything else perfect, no leaks, no cracks. Very nice. Let's talk about the gas tank. So we do have this sticker here, which has been added to the motorcycle to kind of give it more of the Transalp I am riding a 750 look. So this is a side mount sticker. It is a different texture, so it's good for your inner leg to keep, not from slipping off of this motorcycle. But the tank is in great condition. We also have this resin bike 750. I'm not sure if these are from the same kit as the resin bike, which this doesn't feel like it, but maybe it's just different because it's the side tank markings. But you have some more resin bike design features here that kind of make the bike pop. Personally, I like it. Shows you're on a 750, and this is your gas cap, which looks to be great condition and is fully functional, not leaking whatsoever, but the tank is in perfect shape. Other than one touch up right here. Seems like he's touched up with a paint or a Sharpie. Seems like a little bit of chip. Always, coming in to fill this bike up, you will get nicks. It's something that happens with riding. I'm sure all of you respect and understand that. Coming to this side again with that 750 resin side patch looks good, and nothing else really to note. Maybe another touch up right here I'm noticing right there, maybe one right here. Other than that, the tank looks very good. Let's go down and talk about the left side of the engine. Again, 1,700 miles, everything's looking good. It seems to be your water pump here, and this is the coolant line, so if you saw any liquid here, that would be coolant, but there's none. Everything's looking good. You have your valve cover, engine casing seal looking all good, and that's where your cam would be for your valves, and everything is just exactly as it should be, stock and nice from Honda. This is a quick shifter, so you have a 6-speed transmission set up with a quick shifter, so it's electronically programmed, and it'll kind of do an ignition cut, if I'm not mistaken, to get you into that gear without actually having to use that clutch to go between the gears, which is great. And you can activate that via the many modes within the digital display up front, and we'll go through that later. But this is your shift lever. I have it down in first gear right now because we're on a slope, but we'll go through all the gears, show you that later. But everything's looking quite good. There's a little bit of abrasion just from rider use. 1,700 miles is going to get that, but everything is looking great. And this is the side stand. And one thing that this bike did not come with from factory is the center stand. So this is actually a Honda center stand that's been added to the motorcycle. Very important for sport touring riding and off-road riding. It's extremely important to have a center stand if you're ever going to do anything with that rear wheel, reset your chain. And this center stand is quite easy to use. We'll show you later, but it gets actually almost both wheels off the ground if you need. You can push forwards and backwards, and it's quite stable. I very much do like that he added this on there, and it's a huge plus to somebody that's going to be buying this and riding the bike a lot. We'll go into the seat. So this is the OEM seat. We have AirHawk kind of butt pads on there that are very comfortable. But this seat had been sent out to a professional upholsterer and actually has seat raisers on the inside. So typically it's a little bit more of a bump seat where it comes down for the primary rider and up for the secondary, but there's been a raiser added in here for the ergonomic of the height that the rider is now, which is about 6'2", 6'3". Personally, it's perfect for me because I'm about that height, but you can see, I'll show you, I'm not gonna undo this, but underneath the seat, it's in perfect condition. There's really nothing to be said. I love the weave on it. All the seams are looking good. Absolutely perfect. We have our side pegs there for the rear passenger, and we'll talk about these cases. These are Honda cases meant for the bike. They lock in perfectly and they have carry bags on the inside. We'll show you in a moment. We'll do a walk around at the end. Sorry, it's coming down a little bit, so that's some water, but the cases are in great condition. They have these nice silver Honda side casings onto the actual polymer case. This is metal. Everything's in perfect condition, and these nice reflectors there. Everything looking good. We have a dual-sided swing arm down low. You got that drive chain coming out of the 6-speed gearbox, which looks in great condition. Nice and oiled up. And while you're down there, you can see the chain guard and tension specs for that chain. We'll talk about our rear sprocket. It's adjustable here for the amount of tension that you need if you want to change the sprocket side. But everything's looking good. It's not too caked up down there. You can also peek over here just so we don't miss it. We have that monoshock over here, which you can see the suspension looks in great condition, in that reservoir for the rear brake. Very nice. So let's start up top here. Before we go into the casing, he had more bike resin pieces here, and of course these are removable and it's just bare metal underneath. If you guys like this look, keep it. If you don't, change it, up to you. But double Airhawk butt pads and this framing here, which this is a Givy monkey box in the back, and it is integrated with the actual braking system. So if you'll notice, we have two lights here, and it is wired coming all the way through here. And this was done professionally, and it's very neat and clean, and it works great. So when you go on the brakes, it will actually flash for the people behind you, noticing that you are braking. And you know, of course, we have this plate light as well that also will flash for a moment under braking. This shows, again, this guy was super precautious on the road, didn't want any injuries. Of course, he's a doctor, he's probably seen some stuff in his days, and wanted to avoid that. So this bike is set up to be as safe as possible. You can see over on this side, before we get to the rear end, let's just finish talking about this side of the seat, and we have our peg here. Everything's looking good. All the fairings are looking good. All the hardware is in the right spot, as it should be. And we'll talk about our exhaust down low, which our exhaust heat shield casing looking good. That side of the swing arm, and we have our rear rotor over there. And again, that axle adjustment point, if you want to change the tension or the distance for the actual track of the bike. And you can see this side of the center stand. Very good. And before we go and open up all the cases, let's just talk about this rear wheel, and then we'll really dive into the casings. So the tires are looking good, and I'll see we have, yep, so they're 18s in the rear, 150 by 70 R18. And I can see they're Dunlop, again, Trail Max. Do we have the date code on this side? Probably not. I would assume they're 2024 matching pairs. Probably came stock on the bike. But everything's looking good. Rotor's looking good. Caliper looks good. All the hardware in the right spot. You have your exhaust tip on this side, looking spectacular. OEM as ever, and the bike actually does sound very good. You can see this tire has a lot of tread on it. It's looking very good. And on this side of the wheel, looks just great. So I'm gonna grab the keys and let's open up some of these boxes real quick. So we have, this key is for the rear blade box, and then these actually open with the drive key. So I'll go in here and I'll hit unlock position. As such, I guess it was already unlocked. I think this pops up. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. There we go. So that opens there. You have Honda OEM carry bags that fit perfectly to the shape there. So you want to take it out, go for a stroll, pick some stuff up. It's perfect for that. And the interior of the case looks great. It seems like it's barely been used. This guy, he said he primarily would ride this bike to go get ice cream with the wife. You know, he didn't do much touring. and you can tell that this bike's been taken care of from the lack of flaws on all these different features and, you know, key points, people throwing stuff in and out of these boxes. It's going to happen regardless. But we can also show a quick demonstration of how to take this off. Unlock, and then pop this off, and that removes itself from in here. And this is a very easy operation to get on. But to get off, it's always a funny kind of twist you have to do. You have to get that rear off, and then that kind of pops off loose like that. So easy as ever to get off. And then how to get it on, you line that up there. Let's see if I can do it like that. Get it on there. There we go. Line it up, and then pop, pop. Very good. And it's locked on there, and it's the same operation for that side. We'll show you up here the Gibby monkey box. And this would be a little bit of a harder thing to remove from the bike since it is wired in. I would leave it on there. It also has this nice backrest for the rear passenger. You have your Transalp owner's manual in here, and this Gibby Explore and Enjoy. Nice kind of duffel. It's actually stylish. You know, I'd walk through the airport with this after going for a ride. And you can see there's the internals and see the wiring here for where it is linked up to that rear light. Very good, and it kind of transfers power into here. So everything checks out, and that key does work for that as well. And it's just a pop button, you know, and this probably removes it there. And we'll show the right side. And then we can go underneath the actual seat and check it out. So again, pump off. This should open up. There we go, just press it extra. These ones have a little bit more tension on it, so it doesn't, you know, fully open, but you can adjust that here. And again, with that same carry box, equally as in perfect condition as the other side. And these are actually pretty expensive pieces of kit. A nice OEM Honda box for you. And I'll show you that it does remove as well. Bang. Rear one, bang like that. Then on, and I'm sure I'll get it faster this time since I just did it on the other side. Yep, there we go. So it just takes a little quick kind of movement. So very well, we'll go on to underneath this seat. You have the same key for the ignition. And there we go. We have a Honda toolkit. We'll check out the underneath of the seat. You can see it has been upholstered with those kind of marks there with that insert placed. So otherwise it's in good condition, you know, perfect from factory. I wouldn't even note that it does have a flaw. This is all hidden anyways. It's probably stronger than the factory seems. We can see we have our battery here. This would be a LiPo, you know, our relays and fuses, everything in the right order. No junked up wiring, everything wired in very well. And if you see an extra positive cord coming here, it's because you have an external charger wired, and this is an SAE port, so you can keep the bike nice and tended while it's in the garage, maybe over the winter, and you have your packed OEM toolkit there. And this is an easy operation, on and off. I always say that and then mess up on it, but not with this one. Locked on there. Very good. So we're going to do a cold start, and then we're going to hit the road, do a little driving video. Very good. Thank you. All right, so we're going to turn the bike on in ignition mode. You hear that fuel pump firing up. You got the Transalp, and this is our digital display. We'll go through all the functions later, but you can see that the bike is cold, and I'll just show you that the bike's cold by taking my precious hand, putting it directly on to the hottest part of the exhaust. It's about probably 23 degrees outside, but I'm gonna leave the mic down here for you and start it up. Fuel pump fires again once you go to the start mode, and then press down after being on the clutch. As you can see, it runs like a 1700 mile Honda. Engine sounds very good. And check the RPMs over here. You can see that it's nice and still and cold. Revs came up there a little bit. Probably just sensing that it's quite cold. Needs to warm up fast. You'll see there, I don't see a coolant, but I'll go through there. Okay, so it's not reading the coolant because it's so cold. The RPMs are nice at 2,000. We'll see. Nice and snappy, and there you go, 94 Fahrenheit and rising, as it should be, 99 and 100. So it's going to warm up pretty fast, and then we will get on the road. All right, so I'm going to show you guys some of the lighting system on this motorcycle. So coming up front, typical stuff, we have the all-time running Denali's down there, adding that great ground visibility, and the front flashers tap down, and then the high beams, which work great. And then the real feature that's been modified on this motorcycle is the rear. So that plate frame, my mistake, I said it turns off. It runs at all times, actually, along with this here. It's a little bit dim up here, nice and bright down there, but you'll see it goes brighter when I go on the brakes, as well as these lights up here. And this is the front brake. So you can see everything comes on nice and bright. And we're going to test the rear brake as well. I'm going to come over here. Let's see if that does it as well. And yes, everything illuminating on that rear brake as well. So that's the safety lighting for you, and we're going to get straight on to the riding video.
All right, here we are with the 750 Transalp. Beautiful bike. Here it is for the riding portion of the video, where you can see we are in some snow. Beautiful town of West Cornwall. Just took it for a little ride over here. I realized I wasn't recording, so take two, here we go. With the GoPro mounted, you guys can hear me through my helmet. The bike is warmed up. We're at 205 with it off. Show you guys the startup procedure. Just to go through everything with the display here, because it's not just a normal analog one. We have this awesome display that shows just about everything. So we're in sport mode now. We have it on. I'll start the bike for you guys. Dual pump primes twice, one on ignition, one on start down mode. Clutch doesn't necessarily need to be in. Neutral indication. See that our kickstand is down. Indicator goes away, like that. So we're just going to test everything here. The horn is very loud. Super duper loud. Flashers down. We got our high beams on there. You can see the reflection off of that. Whatever that car is, Toyota Land Cruiser, that's what it is. A little hard to tell in the salt. But they're reflecting off there. We have a mode select. So we'll click out of sport into standard mode, in terrain mode, into gravel, and back to user, which then you can customize and set to your preference. And back to sport, which we will keep it. So we have on-road ABS set, our traction control, and I believe this is power on the left, and the EB, I'm not sure of what EB could be. Maybe electronic braking or something along the lines of that. The bike is very responsive, snappy throttle, super duper cool. So we're going to go in onto the, if you hold it to the right, and it comes up with our function, display, general, and service. Riding mode, of course, you can change all of these. This is in the user, so custom set the user, quick shifter. You can set how aggressive it is for up and down. Let's go. Let's try for downshift in the hard, because I was riding over here and the downshift is a little bit slow. Opinion. My sports bike riding self. But this bike is not a lack of power. This thing does keep you on your toes. So you have your shift point, self-canceling turn signals, and Trip A auto reset. Down to the display type, I have it setting on type 2 because I really enjoy the sport look, almost like a CBR. You can change it to this. That was what it was originally set to, or type 1 there, but I'm going to keep it on this because I like that. Let's go back here. Brightness, background, metallic. Interesting. Let's do that. Why not? Favorite information on displays up there. General, daytime, all the good stuff. Bluetooth pairing reset, so you can set your phone up. And then service, maintenance, equipment, and regulatory and DTC system check. And everything is functional in there, and you can record your maintenance and what equipment is on the bike, heated grips and such. Very cool. I think it's the heated grip, quick shift, and the defog. So we're going to go back out of this. You can hear the fans coming on. So we're at 217 standing still. It's a cold day, and that's the metallic background. Actually not a huge fan of that, but we're going to leave it anyways. Let's get on the road here. So easy into first gear. Very good. And I'll show you guys. So we're in sport mode. Not gravel, but not a lack of traction whatsoever. Very nice braking power. cool people and cool Subarus and a Nissan. I prefer my motorcycle. Although, it is very cold outside. Get this cooled down. Do a nice stop. These brakes are not wobbly at all. They feel great. And test our turn signal. Right, left, put a foot down, alternating bridge. Seems to be someone on the other end of it, so we'll give them a go and give these people some space so we can test the bike out a little bit. This bike is super fast. 80 horsepower, 80 some horsepower. I don't know if this guy's going or not. I guess he's hanging out. This is the historic covered bridge, so people like to walk through it. But anyways, enough about the area. Listen to this bike for a second. Yeah, he can hear me coming. There we go. Very good. Nice. The clutch is smooth. Doesn't slip at all. Wouldn't expect it to be after a 1,700 mile life period. So let's give these guys some time in front of us, because I do want to show you the capabilities of the motorcycle throughout the turns. You can see very well through these mirrors. You can see everything. Aftermarket mirrors are a good touch. I do approve. They don't look too bad either. They kind of match the styling of the bike. So we're going to switch this standard mode, power 3/4 it seems, EB pretty high, traction mode, ABS on road. And we are just hanging out here, 2,000, maybe 3,000 RPM there, 43 miles an hour in 5th gear. Up to 6, and that'd be too low. It's kind of lugging a little bit. That's that quick shifter. I'm not touching the clutch. Downshift to 3rd, 2nd even, and that fast mode on the quick shift feels great. That induction noise, man. Oh my god. That is addicting. Addicting. Very good. And the ride is super comfortable. And it's very responsive. This is a nice turn here, so I'm going to spit it into sport mode. 2 downshifts. This is a good play of weight transfer up here. So we go on the front brake, downshift. We'll roll the throttle and bring it over. Very nice. Accelerate. And then let off. And it kind of just carries. If it tightens, lean that butt over, and the bike just goes with very nice. Ah, I adore it. And the shifting is great. Super duper smooth. It does exactly what you'd like it to do. You know, especially for sport touring bikes, they tend to be very top heavy. I'm sure a lot of you Africa Twin fans are going to be watching this video and seeing how the Transalp does on a alpine type day. We got cold, salty, which we will clean off after this ride, but this bike is not lacking. I know the Africa Twin a little bit higher in CC. This is maybe referred to as the little brother of it, but I like this bike. This is great. It's just enough power. I think it's around 83 horsepower with some nice throttle bodies. Factory installed on this bike, and it goes. Definitely goes. And that's not full throttle either, and I'll show you guys full throttle in a bit. But the downshifting is great. The bike just feels immaculate. And I wouldn't change a thing. A little bit of a faster turn, dip the leg. Woo! Awesome. Into 6th gear. This is a touring bike. You can go many places with this, and it feels just nice. Oh, awesome. Yeah, everything is functioning. The brakes feel great. It's not dark enough for me to say that the lights are amazing, but I can say that they do feel very bright once it comes down to the darker parts of the evening. And yeah, I don't have much to say. The bumps are not very noticeable at all either on the road. This Airhawk seat with the custom upholstered factory seat feels very good, and this bike is fitted to my height personally, so maybe that's why it feels so good for the taller lads. You could really have a good time on this motorcycle because it is so set for you. If you're a little bit shorter, you can get rid of these handlebar raisers and remove the insert from the seat. I'm sure it's not that hard to do and set it up, and that's why I love these sport touring modern bikes. You can make them extremely ergonomic. Quick shifting's awesome. The brake power is insane. I can give you a good demonstration of it here. Third gear, go onto that front brake. Nice. Not to a full stop. Give a little acceleration for you too. That's almost full throttle there. Pure induction noise. Oh man. You can haul on this bike. You definitely can. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Cold day, cold tires, salty road. This bike is super confidence inspiring. I really am. I don't have anything to say about any of the rider features on the bike. Maybe just to switch that back to black for the display. But overall, what a fabulous experience. We're going to be back to the shop here in a second. I believe that almost covers just about everything. I'll show you through second, D-cell. Slow down first. That's my left turn signal. Not breaking my neck here. I'll show you the neutral, how easy that is. Look at that. First click. Gotta love that. Very nice. And I'll show you also you can stand up on this bike. Your legs are getting a little sore. You can stand up. You have full control over it. I don't recommend riding like this all the time, but these aftermarket Honda catalog pegs feel awesome. A lot of surface area for you to put weight onto and kind of change it up. And I'm sure that the rear passenger would be having a great time riding around on this bike. It's super comfortable for the rider, so I can imagine it's great for the passenger as well. And yeah, just like that, very active. You know, pothole? Nope, not today. You know, dive into it, and the weight transfer is insane on this bike. Super duper cool. But yeah, it checks all the boxes. Braking, you got engine power, you got stability, comfortability. All the modes work, all the lights work. Bells and whistles and train horns. Always gotta love that one. Very good. We're coming up to the shop here. And I've just enjoyed my ride. Even though it's so cold, this has protected me from the wind. This aftermarket windscreen here. Everything feeling very good. Super duper user friendly. But without lacking the power. And that's what we love. Go over some ice here. Oh, very cool. I'll show you a hot start, and this is what you look like. Very good. You can see me in the reflection there. Super duper cool bike. And there you are. I'll show you a hot start. Smooth as butter. Second crank, holding RPM, not choking out. Wouldn't expect it to. Well, very, very good. This is the Transalp 750, y'all. And I know somebody's going to be made a very, very happy rider. Take your kids to the ice cream parlor on this thing. It's super safe, a lot of storage space. Go tour around Europe, ship it out. Go tour the Rocky Mountains, whatever you will do with it. It's going to be a good time on this bike. It is set up amazing. So thank you guys for watching. Please let me know if I've made any incorrect comments. Not afraid of any backlash on this. The bike speaks for itself, and I wish you guys the best of luck bidding. Thank you.